Welcome to Perspectives in Mobile, the news podcast from the Mobile Ecosystem Forum. Join us discussing the world of telecommunications, technology, and mobile innovations. From Florence, Riccardo Amati.
Welcome to the MEF Perspectives podcast, where we dive into the world of mobile communications and digital ecosystems. Today, we are joined by two leading voices of telecom and mobile innovation. First, we have Viktorija Radman, Telecom Business Director at Infobip. Welcome, Viktorija. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
And you are a recently elected board member of the Mobile Ecosystem Forum, MEF. Viktorija brings extensive expertise in collaborating with mobile operators to drive forward new technologies like RCS, business messaging, revenue assurance, fraud protection, and cutting-edge network APIs. And that's in particular what we are going to talk about. Joining me, is Nicholas Rossman, Program Director at MEF, who oversees key initiatives aimed at advancing the mobile ecosystem globally. Thank you, Nicholas, for your time and for being with us in this podcast. In this episode, we'll explore the developments in MEF's programs, the strategic role of network APIs, and what we can expect from an upcoming MEF interest group meeting this September, which is probably particularly interesting, and both our guests will talk about that. First of all, Nicholas, could you give us an overview of the key programs currently run by MEF and their core objectives?
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's good to set some context here around the different programs at MEF so we could then dive more deeply into the program that Viktorija will be guest hosting for in September. So it's good to understand what the programs are and kind of what their objectives are as well. At MEF, we have 8 different programs that span sort of the entire spectrum of what you think of as the mobile ecosystem. That's hence the name of our organization. In broad buckets, we have one area that covers all the sort of enterprise communications area, and then the mobile services. Now, I'll quickly list them. I'm not going to go through all of them because that would consume the whole podcast and maybe not be of great interest to our audience. But just quickly, so I give a sense to everyone, on the enterprise communications side, we have the messaging channels program, which looks at everything around RCS, SMS, OTT, that sort of stuff. We have another program that looks at omni-channel and customer experience. We have the program that Viktorija will be talking about shortly on mobile evolution, which focuses basically on network APIs. We have one that looks at all the fraud that's taking place in the industry. We call it the anti-fraud program. And it cuts across, I would say, all the programs. On the mobile services side, we have another 4 programs. We have one that looks at content and advertising, another looks at payments and commerce, a third one that looks at identity and data, and finally a 4th one at connectivity and wholesale. So that's kind of like an overview of the different areas where MEF has members and where we have these different programs that look at the challenges, the opportunities for our members in each of those areas. Now, each of these programs runs a monthly interest group. And this is very specifically what we want to talk about, the September monthly interest group for the Mobile Evolution program. These interest groups are an opportunity for MEF to share insights around what we're seeing taking place in that program. We talk about the various MEF initiatives that are taking place relevant to that program. So it could be upcoming events, it could be webinars, podcasts like this one, reports, blogs, anything that we're doing here at MEF in that area. Regulatory consultation responses is another example, all these sorts of things. But it's also an opportunity. We want this to be a conversation between MEF and our members. So it's an opportunity for our members to enlighten us around what insights they're seeing, what they're seeing taking place in the program as well, or in that specific industry. And then to identify potential objectives you may want to achieve. Perhaps you want to look at building some sort of a best practice guide, and those sorts of issues can be addressed there. The members can give us guidance on which areas they think MEF should be focusing on and where they think MEF can help support them. So these are ongoing monthly meetings that we have in each program, like I say, every month. So that's sort of an overview of the different programs at MEF.
Thank you, Nick. Victoria, we were talking about APIs network, and as Nick said, synonym with innovation, worldwide innovation. Why so? And what's the significance of APIs, network APIs, in today's telecom environment?
Look, I would say, first of all, maybe just to start from the beginning, so how I became the MEF board member, because I would say
Sure.
MEF was traditionally and already for years really taking care about all the topics that are important for mobile network operators. And the majority of the topics that are covered there are messaging ecosystem, fraud prevention, etc., that Nick already mentioned, and that they are covering on different working groups, meetings, etc., etc. I'm coming with the knowledge of network APIs and these kind of new technologies, evolving technologies that more and more people inside of the mobile network operators ecosystem would like to learn, would like to know, and would like to extend their capabilities to expose other products that they usually have from traditional ecosystem they are covering. So this is my somehow a goal to bring new topics there, because APIs, opening the network, gaining the new revenue for mobile network operators are something very important. They really want to move themselves from being traditional sellers of SMS and data packages to being the technology providers that can really bring some new solutions and new values to the market and to the ecosystem as such. So this is who I am. These are the topics that I'm bringing, and this is what I would like to bring to the mobile ecosystem forum.
Can you elaborate, Victoria, on that? So when we say network APIs, what does it mean? Going beyond SMS, beyond so many things. What about, like, so if you just give me give our audience some examples, that's just to be,
Short, small example is like, imagine you are the mobile network operators and all of majority of the people worldwide are having the mobile device, which is of course smartphones today. And these are not devices that are collecting and receiving just SMS, voice and data. We have almost our whole life in that device, from social to business, etc. And majority of data flows that are going through that device, again, is in store of mobile network operators. So they are really sitting in the golden egg of data and dynamic and static about the person. And we want to create the mobile identity of that person, consuming the data sets that mobile network operators already have. Then again, they have the 5G, 6G networks that are coming, of course, more and more, and they have capabilities to expose that network let's say, capabilities towards the enterprises side. So, for example, you are driving yourself in a car and your network connection is very poor, but you have very important meeting that you need to have. And then, of course, you don't have a network, right? And then you have a capability to press the button and ask your mobile network operators, give me the real proper capacity of my network to handle 30 minutes meeting that I'm just, it's very, very much a priority and a need from my side. And this is now possible. Previously, that was not even idea or it was not even something that you could even think about. So more and more capabilities mobile network operators can bring to the table. And that is what we want to really achieve. We want to help them to understand what they can build. We want to bring the knowledge and let's say evaluation to the market. So market as well need to understand that they can get something like that from the mobile network operators, and to bring together these both sides, and mobile network operators, enterprises, fintechs, banks, to the one table, and to see how they can really benefit from each other.
Nick, how much is how important is for you as a MEF the director of a program, sharing thoughts with our members, MEF members, with companies, with, I think, what Viktorija just told us, it's so clear about how it works, really. So how important is for you guys doing programs for MEF to try and advance the mobile ecosystem, to talk with members? Because, of course, MEF try to help members, but it's vice versa.
Well, look, I think it's not unique to MEF as a trade association. I think this is sort of one of the core reasons for being for trade associations, is this need for collaboration within the industry to make certain types of solutions work. And there couldn't be a more perfect example for that than network APIs. And just offline, before we started this recording, we were talking about the GSMA Open Gateway Initiative and the camera initiative and other initiatives led by companies such as Ericsson. And that just demonstrates the degree to which we as MEF members need to collaborate to make this initiative effective. It's also very relevant for members, I think, for one or two other reasons. One is that we're seeing increasingly network APIs as a complementary or even alternative solution to combating fraud, right? And so it's important for us as MEF to be able to inform our members that there's new alternatives out there when it comes to looking at solutions like combating fraud. There's the opportunities to join the Open Gateway Initiative or other initiatives to make APIs, network APIs work. And, you know, we're seeing as well the SMS channel increasingly being attacked. Now, we're not saying that SMS will disappear, but we need to think about how SMS evolves and what other options are out there when it comes to user authentication, and then network API plays right into that as well. So it's around collaboration and information sharing, where I think MEP just plays a huge role for our members.
Right. Viktorija, as a, corporate person, and then I'll ask Nick the same thing. In the past, there were other examples, to build a network APIs didn't went well in many cases. So what has changed and why now it's again so, I was saying trendy, that's not probably the adjective, but let's say it's again very much a current topic.
So if you ask me, and I'm in this space already probably for 7 years or something like that, that's strictly the APIs. I would say that previously mobile network operators were not that much ready to collaborate. They were seeing each other as the main competitors, and they were not ready really to sit on the same table discussing the same topic and coming to the same conclusion. And these APIs cannot work without all the operators in one country, and then you want to, of course, scale globally, then you mean about all the operators in a globe. Because if you have just one operators in one country delivering, I don't know, for example, SIM detection solution, and second one is delivering number verify app API, and third one is delivering quality on demand, then again you have a complete mess. And one of the reasons why that was not successful previously, first of all, is not readiness to collaborate and to unitedly sit and decide which APIs they are bringing, what is the demand, and how they will create the go-to-market strategy. How and why this change? I would say that they probably just feel the momentum that traditional business that they were doing are slowly going down, and they needed to find a way how to replace and how to be, let's say, competitive on the technology market. So that's the only reason I would say. And now we're really seeing more and more operators joining the Open Gateway initiatives. I think that the newest number is 78 operators groups, which means 250 networks globally, which is already huge numbers. And this number is constantly growing. Then you have around 50 channel partners, meaning the aggregation layer or some add-on value layer that is bringing solution to enterprise side, which is as well joining the Open Gateway initiative. So I would say this business is growing, understanding is growing, and this collaboration is growing because the ecosystem is really complex. There are many players inside, so probably, unfortunately, it is really taking a long time to create the proper ground to be able really to deliver that to the market. Now this is moving. They have several countries which are already into production, which are gaining the revenue from those APIs that they're delivering, and they are continuing discussing together which are the new APIs that they will bring to the market in collaboration between each other, in collaboration with channel partners as Infobip is. And they really appreciate these kind of forums as mobile ecosystem forum is bringing, that they can really talk between each other without seeing as the competitors, and to be able to openly say all the challenges that we are having today in order how to solve it, of course. Yeah.
Right. So, Nick, from your experience, what's the role of a trade association as MEF in this change that is happening in the mobile ecosystems? I'm talking again about network APIs.
I think it's similar to what I already answered before, Riccardo. I really believe it's our role at MEF is to make our members aware of the different, I mean, not just specifically to API, but just generally speaking, our role is to make members aware that there's these different alternatives out there, different solutions. What is, it's, as I was saying when I was describing the programs, we want to make sure our members understand all the latest developments that are taking place in the industry, where there's sort of synergy, or where there's momentum and things are heading, and then communicating that information, educating our members, informing our members, all these sorts of things. That's what we at MEF can play a big role in.
What preparation are you leading for the MEF interest group this September? What are the main topics and goals for this gathering?
So yeah, I can maybe continue. So I will be hosting that as a guest this time. I mean, the main of course, we would like to gather more and more people that are in this topic and would like to learn more, share the knowledge, and listen them to see what other topics in future they would like to discuss, what they expect from MEF, and how MEF can benefit them, maybe to create some different blogs for education or advocate some specific topics towards the mobile network operators, etc. But the first meeting that is on September, I would for sure present several case studies with the numbers that we have already from some of the clients that are using APIs. I will invite several guests as speakers as well that are from mobile network operators side coming. Then we have Juniper, who just recently shared their reports from the network APIs. They will present their reports and try to explain to the audience what exactly they see as an analyst. And of course, it will be the open conversation from whoever joined, and we would like to listen what exactly they would like to discuss in future. But these are the main steps. We would really like to show what today market is already bringing, what me as being part of the Infobip, we already achieved in several countries, what are the lessons learned, and how I would like this to be as well, let's say, scaled in other countries, in other regions. I mean, there's still a lot of challenges with these network APIs, which needs to be addressed, highlighted, and together we would like to find, of course, we will not have the answers for everything, not yet. This is still lessons learned and probably will continue for some time, but to find the common ground and be able to openly talk and try to find how to solve at least some of the challenges that we are seeing today.
For example, I'm pretty sure that one of the questions at the interest group will be about monetization, right? So what is it in the network API for both of you guys? Same question.
First of all, I would say that operators, of course, this is the main question. So why they are doing that, they want to be able to have a different kind of monetization channels, not just the traditional one, etc. So the first question probably would be if this is already something that we are monetizing. The answer is yes, Infobip is already monetizing it. And we are seeing a really big demand. We are seeing that can really go higher and higher, but for that we need to have a healthy supply side. That's why we are talking with mobile network operators to try to see how really to came to the point that onboarding the clients is so simple. It's not complex, and then of course we will be able to scale it more and more. But yes, it is monetizable. we have APIs that we are already charging. We have the clients that are consuming and paying for it, and they're seeing the value. So we have the clients that are using the same APIs already for more than a year. So that means that they really see the value. It's not that they are just trying, doing the pilots, etc., etc. So yes, we can bring some knowledge on that as well there.
Is there money there?
Yeah, that's important. I mean, we are all working for it at the end. Yeah.
Nick, do you agree?
So, at MEF, I run the anti-fraud program. So I'm always kind of seeing things through that lens. And I think where there's potential, in terms of commercial models for members is also on the cost saving side, right? So we're seeing, or protecting revenue side. So if we're seeing revenue move away in terms of, say, SMS one-time passwords, and our members are looking for ways to continue to combat fraud and generate revenue through the solutions they provide to combat fraud, then network APIs could be a way of protecting that revenue and growing that revenue and saving the costs associated to fraud, right? So when fraud is committed against your business, there's a cost there. There's the cost potentially of just the actual cost of the fraud, but also reputational cost, customer service support cost. There's all those costs that you want to avoid that fraud causes. So I think that there's lots of opportunities on that side of the equation as well for members.
Is it correct to say, Nick, that fraud protection integrates into network APIs and vice versa?
Yeah, I mean, Victoria, maybe you want to take that one. My view is yes, but you probably have more insight on this than I do.
Yeah, for sure yes, Riccardo. Especially because at the moment, I think that everyone who is in this not network APIs ecosystem, we are somehow focusing those in the fraud prevention use cases, which are flying very well. I mean, in digital world, where majority of the businesses are happening on our mobile devices, this mobile identity and mobile fraud prevention is a very much important topic. We can sing in different kind of events, podcast, whoever is willing to really understand what is the fraud on the mobile device is looking at the mobile network operators for some kind of solutions, because they are the trusted companies which need to take care about the data privacy and different kind of licensing. So I would say yes, the fraud prevention and APIs are really going hand by hand. And what is as well important when we talk about the data privacy and fraud prevention, usually, when you're exposing the data of your subscribers, then of course you have GDPR, consent, etc., etc. But when it's a fraud prevention, then you have the legitimate interest to protect your subscriber, and there is no need really for explicit consent, etc. So that's why maybe those use cases for fraud prevention are today even more, let's say, I would say, more simple to bring it to the market, because you don't need a consent management, you don't need additional things that are complexing the whole story. So yes, fraud prevention at the moment, it's the number one where we are seeing the monetization flow and the need on the market. And it's going perfectly well with what Nick said about SMS and the fraud prevention, authentication, etc., etc., because that was the traditional way how to authenticate and prevent the fraud previously. But now this is not sufficient. We need some other better solution, and that's the network APIs are properly fitting.
And finally, Nick, how do you envision the role of the MEF interest group evolving in the coming years? You're running different programs. What will it happen after September?
That's a great question. So we like this to be a two-way road or two-way street. We want to continue to address those areas that are most relevant to our members within the sort of network API area itself, right? So we will look to new topics, or when I say new topics within what functionality, what opportunities network APIs offer. Victoria mentioned that we'll have Juniper and operators attending the meeting. We will continue to reach out to special guest speakers to help us to help give insight into what's happening on the network API side. We continue to reach out to members such as Infobip to give us case studies so we can see what successes our members are having. It's especially interesting for us to get case studies from different markets. So our members who operate in certain markets can get examples of what's taking place in other markets. We know, for not just for network APIs, but generally speaking, that some markets advance more quickly than others in different areas. So it's always nice when the more advanced markets can give us some feedback on their experiences in deploying the service, the challenges they had, and the benefits they've also had. So that's how we'll continue to try to grow the interest groups. There's also an opportunity to form sub-working groups to help build, like I was saying before, best practice guides. So maybe we can help build some of these initiatives where the members get together to deploy network APIs more broadly, because as Viktorija is mentioning, in order for network APIs to be effective, we need a certain momentum. We need a certain number of companies to join in the network API initiative. So yeah.
Nicholas Rossman, Program Director at MEF. Thank you, Nick, for your insights. Viktorija Radman, Telecom Global Business Director at Infobip. We have explored the developments in MEF's programs, the strategic role of network APIs, and what we can expect from the upcoming MEF Interest Group meeting this September. Thank you, Viktorija. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Riccardo.
That's all for this episode of MEF Perspective Podcast. Stay tuned. And from Riccardo Amati, your host, good luck with your work.
Thanks for listening to Perspectives in Mobile. Join us next as we explore telecoms, technology, and mobile innovations. Stay tuned, stay connected, and let's unlock the mobile potential together.